Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to answer the question of what causes the seasons. All right, how does it go from being cold with little hours of sunlight to maybe getting some snow in the wintertime? And then 6 months later, it is hot, sometimes up to 100 degrees, and it doesn't even get dark until like 9 o'clock, depending on where you live. How does all this happen? How do we have such drastic temperature changes and weather changes and environmental changes just depending on the time of year? All right, really crazy question. And if you really think about it right now, maybe you don't know, maybe you have somewhat of an idea. All right, we're going to explore that right now, and it has everything to do with the tilt of the Earth. All right, I have a little glass globe here you can see. And as you notice, look, there is a slight tilt. Look at the actual globe itself, okay? It is tilted. It is not exactly straight. It is tilted at a 23-degree angle, all right? And this has everything to do with seasons. We're going to explain why right now. All right, first, though, to illustrate this, I'm going to turn off the lights. I'm going to shut my blinds. It's not completely dark in here, but it'll do. All right, so I'm going to use a sun. And honestly, this isn't an actual sun. This is a lamp. And you guys can do this at home if you have a globe, a basketball, whatever. You can do the same thing. I'm going to turn it on. There we go. Here's my sun. Now, here is my Earth. Okay? As you can see, Earth is tilted. Okay? It is slightly tilted at a 23-degree angle. The first thing that you need to know is Earth is divided into two halves, and those are called hemispheres. All right? The Earth is divided into two halves. That's called hemispheres. Here's the dividing line. It's like right in the middle, and it's called the equator. All right? The northern hemisphere is above the equator. The southern hemisphere is below the equator. Canada, North America, that's all the northern hemisphere. Madagascar, Australia, New Zealand, that's all the southern hemisphere. Okay, you got that now. Now, watch this. Earth's tilt causes the seasons. All right, and before we get into that, I need to tell you that Earth's revolution is when the Earth goes around the sun in a full circle. This takes place once every single year. So we have 1 year, 2 years, okay? You guys get the point? All right. Now watch this. This is how seasons work, okay? Right here in this position, okay, the Earth is facing the sun. Because it's tilted, the southern hemisphere down here is getting more direct rays from the sun than the northern hemisphere up here. What that causes is summertime in the southern hemisphere and wintertime in the northern hemisphere. Interesting, okay? Because the direct sunlight is hitting the southern hemisphere more than it's hitting the northern hemisphere. Now watch what happens. As 6 months goes by and I go from summertime and I revolve around the sun over here, now look what's happened. North America is now getting the majority of the sun, and South America is now not. All right? So it is now summertime in the northern hemisphere and wintertime in the southern hemisphere. Really interesting. Okay? So I live in Southern California. All right? And what this is telling me is that over here, right now it's winter where I live, or about to be winter, sorry. Wintertime is where I'm living. Summertime is happening right now in New Zealand and Australia, okay? And then 6 months passed, all right? It's summertime where I live in Southern California. And if it gets too hot here, I can always fly down to Australia or New Zealand and enjoy their winter. Really interesting, okay? In between here and here, we have fall and spring. In fall and spring, the Earth is getting an equal amount of direct sunlight on both hemispheres.